What's going on, people? Back by special request. I'm never selling, no. I'm never letting my pulse go. I'm holding out forever. Yeah, I'm taking a loan. 0 interest, yeah. And no keys, oh. Amazing wealth creation in the liquid loan seas. I'm never selling, no. I'm never letting my pulse go. I'm holding out forever. Yeah, I'm taking a loan. Earning anyways. Each great financial place. Community on fees. And no counterparty. I'm never selling, no. I'm never letting my pulse go. I'm holding out forever. Yeah, I'm taking a loan.
What is going on, people? Happy Friday. Matt and Jesse here. I hope you've had a great week. Jesse's been away and we thought we'd come back with a bang and drop the Liquid Loans song. So good to see you, Jesse, back in the hood. How was your last week?
Last week was good. I went to Vegas, went to the Hex meetup, met a lot of people. It was good to hang out with some of the people that we talk to all the time here on the old internet.
You were quite the celebrity, I heard. Quite a lot of people were coming up to you.
Yeah, a few people. A lot of people I didn't recognize. I got a chance to meet for the first time. So it was good to hear positive things, about liquid loans, people who are excited about what we have going on here.
Yeah, it's been a crazy couple of weeks. We're coming into our final week of the sacrifice phase, right? And currently sitting at around $45.5 million US sacrifice so far, which
that's right.
Yeah, is really good.
So yeah, coming into the last stages here of the sacrifice phase, people need to understand that even though the first 10 days are over, even though the first 20 days are over, and there's only there's 9 days left, that it's still early. We're still pre-launch. PulseChain doesn't exist yet. There's never a better rate than today's rate for points. Like you can't go back in time, unfortunately, right? So what we've done with the sacrifice phase all the way from the beginning, we've given people an opportunity to maximize their points, to delay their gratification for a 6% bonus for each month that they decide to delay their gratification, which ends up ultimately being a 2.5x, on their points, which far exceeds any 5% decrease in points, for each day that people wait. So the opportunity is still out there. Time's ticking. A little bit just over a week left, and that opportunity is gone.
Yeah, we've talked about this before, and with liquid loans or any good project, always getting in early and then increasing your coin count should be the goal, right? And yes, okay, let's not mix our words. You can't go back in time. You have missed the first 10 days, which was the best rate. That being said, with the game theory infused in the sacrifice phase, you can still make it up by, and look at what Jerry just said, and this guy said they've locked up for 24 months. When you lock up each month, you'll get 6% increase on your coin count. The last month will be 12%. That's a 2.5x on your coin count. So even if you've missed that last 10 days, listen, we'd all have a time machine and be able to go back and get into Bitcoin or Ethereum at the beginning. But unfortunately, you can't. There's a good Chinese saying, half of my ancestry is from Asia, from China. The best time was 20 years ago. The second best time is right now. And you kind of can go back in time, right, with that lockup, because you're actually still negating that 5% bonding curve. So, yes, you'd love to go back in time with any of these projects. It's going to be much better, and correct me if I'm wrong, Jesse, if you think the same way, to get in on this or any project early than it is to try and scoop some up, 2 weeks after launch, a month after launch. Getting in early always shows to be the best yield on stuff. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. Good luck after launch, because let's talk about the loan token for a second. Nearly anybody you ask is going to say when they receive loan token, they're going to be staking it, right? So you're not going to find those on the open market. I don't think I found one single person yet that says, oh yeah, I can't wait to get these things so I can sell them, right? Because that would just be stupid, right? It's literally a passive income generator. You're just collecting the fees with these things for the rest of your life. So you're not going to find very many from the people who were early and have these things. They're not likely to sell these things. Now, the other way you can earn them by being a stability depositor. But it's only going to become harder and harder and harder to get your hands on as a stability, like to get your hands on these things as a stability depositor as well, because there's always more and more people coming in after you. So your share of the stability pool just gets smaller and smaller and smaller, unless you continue to just pump more and more money into it.
Yeah.
So, like keep parking, more and more and more USDL, your share of those rewards just gets smaller and smaller and smaller. So combine that with the fact that the emission rate of those rewards goes through halvings every year. And it's just like, I'm not saying it's hopeless to get your hands on these loan tokens, but it's just way, way harder than being an early adopter.
Yeah.
Being somebody who had a big sum of these things at the beginning. So the opportunity is like now. There's never a better opportunity than to be early, right? You see this with T-shares. You see this with good cryptos such as Bitcoin or Hex or Ethereum. The best time to get into something is way at the beginning.
Like you said, who's going to be selling them? We've got quite a big percentage of people locking up their tokens for 1 to 24 months. A lot, quite a big percentage. I haven't checked exactly, but quite a large percentage have locked up for 24 months. Everyone I've spoken to and you've spoken to wants that timeless T-share, right? As we've called it. Not financial advice, but I personally wouldn't trade this token. This is a token that you want to get. And the funny thing is, a token that is going to provide you good yield continuously is going to appreciate in price, most likely, because people are going to want that, right? But that being said, meme coins, yeah, you try and buy and you try and get a pump and sell it on a 2x or a 10x. And, most people get wrecked doing that anyway. But the loan token is just a different kettle of fish. This is DeFi 2.0. This is, how you get passive income. How do the rich stay rich and get richer, right? They not only borrow against their assets, but they have passive income coming in through real estate, through stocks, through dividends, and all these things here. And if you're in the PulseChain ecosystem and you sacrifice for liquid loans, you're early to the party. You're getting into the the Nueve rich, which is going to be the new rich who are able to use cryptocurrency assets like the old money has been doing before in the legacy finance world. So getting in early is going to be very getting in early and staying there is going to be obviously advantageous. But like I said, good luck getting any of those tokens, for cheap when the launch happens. John says, do we get our tokens on before launch? You'll get your tokens at the launch of the Liquid Loans protocol. So first off, PulseChain has to go live. Once PulseChain's up and running, we think around a month, give or take a bit, that Liquid Loans will go live. And then your tokens that if you've sacrificed, you may be airdropped, obviously, some tokens that have no value. Pete says no chance of any loan tokens being available after launch. It looks that way. It does, So like we said, if you've missed that first 10 days and the bonding curve's getting worse every day, the best time is now to get in. What's the next phase for the liquid loans after the SAT, guys? Well, we're just...
we have testnet version 2.5 that Richard talked about just a couple days ago. We'll be launching, or we'll be running our DApp on there. Hopefully we can at that point integrate with PulseX, and we are working towards getting that smooth. We need PulseX to exist, right? So once PulseX exists and we do what we need to with PulseX, we're one step closer to having a public testnet for everybody to play around with.
The point of a sacrifice is making a political statement and having no expectations from it. Future looking good. MJB says, if the US Gov is okay with, say, USDC and USDT, but not okay with USDL, what would happen to liquid loans? What do you say to that,
Jesse? When you say the government's not okay with USDL, there's no way to regulate it. It's impossible. It's not backed by fiat. It runs on the blockchain. It's immutable. You can't change it. Regardless of what anybody says about it, it's just going to keep on ticking and keep on working. It's backed by Pulse. Now, the reason why governments like to get their hands in traditional counterparty risk stablecoins such as USDC and USDT is because they're backed by the fiat that those governments control. USDL is a completely different animal altogether, where it's backed by Pulse. It's backed by $1 worth of Pulse, but they have no say in it. It just runs.
Yeah, I mean, you've got USDT and USDC, and they say they're backed, right? So again, it's based on trust. We're trusting that they say they have dollars in the bank for what they have on the blockchain. That's been proven that a lot of the time they don't. So again, really what they've done is they've just mirrored the legacy financial systems, which are centralized, corruption, they can turn it on and off anytime they want. And they've kind of mirrored that onto the blockchain. And that's the opposite of why crypto was invented. Crypto was invented to remove middlemen. And liquid loans is at the forefront of that, because if you read the white paper, you go to the website, there's no admin keys, immutable, just you interacting with the code, and you've got an algorithmic stablecoin, which is going to be backed by Pulse. So we're not claiming to have there's no US dollars in the bank here. It's backed by a digital asset, and you can always claim one USDL for $1 worth of Pulse. So it's the complete opposite. And if what he's asking is, why would that be a problem? It's less of a problem than any centralized stablecoin, is what we're getting at. Would be cool if we could collateralize PulseX and Hex. Well, at the moment, it's just Pulse. In the future, if anything changes, you guys will be the first to know. We don't give any price predictions on this channel. Of course, a lot of other people like to speculate. But if you look around, crypto can do amazing things, right? It can go from 0 pence to 69,000 US dollars. So anything's possible. Does the time lock pay 6% per day or per month? That's per month. So 6% every single month. The last month, the 24th month, will be 12%. And that will total a 2.5x on your total coin count. Really pumped for what liquid loans can do for Pulse. I'd like to see a similar mechanism for never selling Hex. Not simple, I know, but possible.
So it is, when you say not simple, it's actually more simple than for Pulse, because Hex already exists. Ethereum already exists. Uniswap, where Hex is traded, already exists. The question becomes, does it make sense? Because of the low liquidity, because dips are in the game, because 80% dips happen all the time. Is it okay to subject all the borrowers to such volatility, knowing that people are going to be liquidated, right? And then are we labeled as the ones who were responsible for that happening when Hex did an 80% dip and liquidated, half of the people who had loans? So it's much safer to do this with a native coin of a blockchain than something like Hex. It's not out of the question that we wouldn't do it, but at this time we're just really debating if it's a good idea or not.
I'm going to pull this question up, and this is another what we call an imaginary horrible, right? So probably never going to happen, but people like to speculate what happens if PulseChain never comes out. What happens if,
Yeah, let me answer this. So if the dollar goes to zero, well, the dollar will never really go to zero. We'll have World War III and like all these other fiats like headed towards zero before the dollar goes zero. But that being said, what's cool about the USDL is it's always worth $1 worth of Pulse, right? So maybe Pulse goes up in value as the dollar goes down in value, right? So you're always going to get it's just an imaginary horrible. Listen, if the dollar goes to zero, like for people who think crypto is going to survive that and that there's not going to be drastic effects and lots of cryptos headed towards zero because the dollar went to zero, those people are just out of their mind. It's never going to happen.
Here's another thing as well, though. People ask, like, if the dollar goes to zero or fiat currencies go to zero, they kind of think that's it forever. If a currency goes to zero, obviously we still need to exchange stuff, right? We still need to buy and sell stuff. So even if it did, which I don't think it will, not in our lifetime, even if it did, we'd obviously come up with another unit of measure, right? Whether that's a cryptocurrency or whether that's, like you said, a CDBC or the people that want to partake in the CDBC or people that want to partake in the decentralized manner. But there's never going to be no currency or no unit of measure. But again, theorizing on the dollar going to zero and World War III and stuff, these are imaginary horribles that are out of our control. And what we can control is the reality that we live in right now, and the dollar exists and it has value. Thinking to sacrifice some extra into liquid loans, it's still the start, right? Exactly. We're still in, even though we're in the final furlong of the sacrifice phase, this is the very beginning. You're getting in at ground zero. And as we've seen, right, Jesse, with Ethereum and Bitcoin,
imagine being in like the early stages of like Ethereum, like the first 30 days of Ethereum and saying to yourself, oh, I'm too late.
Yeah.
Right? Or the first 30 days of Bitcoin and saying, oh, I must be too late. It's just ridiculous to think
or
that
Hex.
way. We haven't even launched yet.
Yeah.
So there's no better time than now.
I think we live in this era, and it's great in so many ways, right, Jesse? We can stream. You're on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. I'm here. We have all this technology, and it's great. We can do all this stuff. But I think it's made us given us instant gratification so much that if we don't get in on day one of everything, we feel like it's over and there must be something new and better. And the sacrifice phase hasn't even finished yet. As we just said earlier in the stream, you can still claw back any lost points by delaying your gratification, which, just a hint, that's the best thing you can do in all areas of life. Losing weight, learning a language, financial success is delaying your gratification. And it's not even finished yet. We still have, how long? 9 days left?
9 days.
Yeah, exactly. So you're still very, very early, and, do head over to our Telegram group if you have any more questions. Obviously, ask them here, but if we're not live on stream, you can always head to the Telegram group and talk. So, Matt, can you bring me back a cold one? Yeah, I just popped off to change the ISO on my camera because it was getting a little bit hot. Good question from John. Will people be able to lock after launch? Not the time lock. Stake, but not the time lock. Right? So the time lock is only available when you sacrifice. once launch happens, if you didn't time lock, you can stake, but you'll never get that 6% every month going forward if you don't specify in your sacrifice. So yeah, I mean, the loan token, I did a stream yesterday, and Jesse, I'm not sure you saw it, and it was about, never selling is the core tenet of liquid loans. But the second token that I never want to sell along with my Pulse is my loan token, because it really is that timeless T-share. It really is something that you can park there. You don't have to lock it up for a certain amount of time, and it's just generating those fees. So if you look at Liquity, which obviously, as we know, Jesse, has been hampered but quite a lot, right, by the gas fees and by, obviously, you've got other protocols that are competition. Was it 25 different protocols?
Yeah, about 25 different lending protocols or stablecoin protocols.
So people have asked me questions like, why doesn't the chart for Liquity look very good? And it's a different set of mechanics in the way that you've got Ethereum, you've got the competition, you've got venture capital that funded the project and obviously wanted to get their capital back plus profits. It's completely different on PulseChain. There's no VC money here. It's also, as we know, PulseChain is going to be cheaper, faster, more efficient version of Ethereum and no competition. So it's night and day, the comparison between Liquity and between Ethereum and PulseChain and what's to come. So with what Richard said the other day, Jesse, what do you think about 2.5 is coming out soon? Is that right?
Yeah, that's what he calls it, 2.5. He said this like within the week, I think he said.
Crazy question. What happens when everyone with the liquid loan SAC token stakes? Looks to me like a strong system.
Here's what's good about that. Like, listen, eventually, I imagine that 90% of these tokens or a significant amount of all these tokens is going to end up staked. That's what they're designed to do. Now, it's unusual that with something like Hex, you actually only see like 10% of the tokens staked, even though that's designed to be staked. So, like, we think that most of these loan tokens are going to be staked, but this is crypto. Maybe only 5% of them will end up staked. We're telling people, hey, you might want to stake these because you earn USDL and Pulse while they're staked. So we think that most of them are going to be staked. Now, having said that, is it looks to be a strong system and robust plan? Well, the people who own these things are probably the same people who are going to be using the protocol. So if they're Pulse holders and the value of their Pulse is going up and they say, oh, should I sell? Oh, wait, I should probably just collateralize, take a small loan out against the value of my Pulse. Like, these are all the same people. The same people who are staking are going to be the same people that are using the protocol, but also telling other people to go use this protocol, that they shouldn't be selling their Pulse. So robust, it's as robust as we all make it, and we all educate other people continuously that never selling is the way to extract value.
Yeah, let's not forget, Liquid Loans is the community bank, right? It's by the people, for the people, literally. When the bank provides the stability, and the bank is going to be collecting the fees as well, the people that hold the loan token and stake it. So it's really is a community bank, and the people that participate are obviously incentivized and rewarded for doing that. So again, it's all speculation, but it looks like people that we've talked to and seen sacrifice not only want that delayed gratification, but they want passive income coming through stability providing and staking the loan token. So, again, up to you, what everyone wants to do, not financial advice, but this is something that I want to hold on to for a long time, my loan token and my Pulse. Again, we don't make price predictions here, but
it is possible.
Yeah, anything's possible.
It says, is it possible? Well, sure.
Is there any way I can stake liquid loans before 24 months? Not if you've locked up. It's not. You either lock it up for a certain period of time, up to 24 months, or you get it on day one and you stake it. Either way, both personally I think are good plays, but we don't know which one's going to be more fruitful. Yes, there are some differences there. So what was the vibe in Vegas then with the hexagons? There are lots of hexagons that you said is sacrifice for liquid loans, Jesse, and they were on board.
Yeah, quite a few people came up and said, "Hey, I sacked. Love what Liquid Loans is doing." You know, people are very excited about what we have going on. Of course, the general vibe is, "Hey, this is a Hex conference.
Sure.
Let's put on our Hex hats and shirts and talk about Hex and what you know, how awesome Hex has done for the past 2 years." But there was quite a few people who came up and shook hands and hugs and everything else, saying they were super excited for Liquid Loans.
Nice. I mean, Liquid Loans really is like DeFi 2.0, like we were saying earlier. I'm not sure if you saw it, Jesse, I had Randy Halasky on last week, and we were just talking about crypto, you know, before DeFi and especially 5+ years ago. And the only options that you had was to hodl or to trade, right? And most people can't hodl because it's boring and it takes patience. And when you trade, you get wrecked. Yeah, who really comes out net positive with trading? So now we have ways so we can hodl on steroids, like with Hex, Pulse, Liquid Loans. We have all these different protocols staking the loan token. It's just super exciting, because before all you had was asset appreciation, buy, hold, if you've got diamond hands, that is, and hopefully the price goes up. Now we've got a multitude of ways to you know, increase our net worth through asset appreciation, but also through staking. How much does RH's ban on YouTube help the launch awareness of PulseX? No idea. Not sure about that. Will another amount be added like the OA and PulseChain?
Well, there's no expectations. Anybody with a giant bag could come in and has come in. Like Godwell came in. There's another wallet that's enormous that came in. No expectations, but I do not believe that this will look like the other sacrifices that you may have seen.
We're going to get a hug, Jesse. That's going to be great. I'm looking forward to all the hugs we get when Liquid Loans goes when Liquid Loans goes out. If hopefully all the people that want to give us hugs are Victoria's Secrets models. But if you're a guy, no worries, man. I've got love for you too. So listen, guys, we want to jump on and just do a quick, 30-minute stream. Jesse's back in town. Hang on, we got a message here. What will the Liquid Loans team do with the amount that's sacrificed? Any plans, X amount for marketing? So again, as we said, when you sacrifice money, there's no expectations, right? And you're getting points and you may get a free airdrop, but there's no expectations for sacrificed amounts. You've given up that money for because you believe in true DeFi and you believe in Liquid Loans protocol.
Now that being said, with no expectations, this team that's brought this protocol to you, everything we've done thus far has been for the good of the protocol. So you can imagine going forward that anything such as what you asked will be for the good of the protocol to grow the ecosystem.
Exactly. The work has just started here, obviously our job is to make sure Liquid Loans, obviously PulseChain launches and then Liquid Loans launches. So this is just us getting started. We're super excited. I mean, obviously we wanted PulseChain yesterday like everyone else, but even hearing that there's more progress on PulseChain and things are being finished and, there's a new version of the testnet coming out, that means, like Jesse said earlier, that we can test stuff, but of course we need other things like PulseX to exist. So lots of work to be done. in front and behind the scenes to make sure everything goes smoothly. Audits are done. It'll all be published before. There's going to be no stone left unturned in this protocol.
Mm-hmm.
So
What
do
is
rest.
Scarlet Rose laughing at?
I'm not sure. Let us know, Scarlet Rose. Hey guys, am I correct saying if you locked up some of your SAC on launch, all of your LL tokens will be minted to your wallet, but how will the locked tokens be displayed in your wallet?
You can, anything that you might receive on day one is either going to be liquid or inside of a smart contract. There's smart contracts that do lock tokens. It's kind of like a staking contract. So you can look at them on the Blockchain Explorer, or you can go to the DApp and you can see, oh, here's my tokens. Here's the date that they unlock.
This is what Scarlet Rose was laughing at. She's definitely a Victoria's Secrets model. Okay, so if you're a Victoria's Secrets model, you definitely get a hug. Maybe more. Once released, the Liquid Loans code cannot be changed, correct? Immutable. Exactly. Immutable code. So it has to be done properly. As Jesse said before, we don't want to push the go live button if things haven't been double, triple, and quadruple checked. So everything needs to be done properly. No admin keys, 100%. Please look at the white paper. You'll see that Liquid Loans is true DeFi. Cool. All right, guys. Well, I think we'll wrap it up there. We just wanted to come on and have a quick update with Jesse as he's back in town, and to reiterate the message that it's not too late. Obviously, it's getting late in the day. Yes, you've missed the first 10 days, but of course, there's 9 days left. If you delay your gratification, you can still claw back any lost points, and it's still very, very early. Anything else, Jesse, you want to say before we sign out?
You should get a Victor's model. If you, what is this next question? If you sack some amount for Liquid Loans as PulseSec, you made over 25 to 50x your proportion already. Super bullish. Well, there are like multipliers and stuff, and hopefully the price goes up on both these things, right? So we'll see. We're from all over the world.
We're a global team, as you can hear from our accents. Jesse, will you fall PulseChain one day?
Oh, that's a possibility. No expectations.
No expectations. Transparency, yes. Scarlett's there giving us some funny faces. Cool. Let's get Hexual.
Yeah. Look at the question before that. Liquid Loans releasing same time as Pulse. Yeah, that is a big component. Like launching at the beginning of a blockchain. Imagine if Chainlink came out at the same time as Ethereum or Aave or Maker or any of these things launched at the same time. Remember, Ethereum's been out for a number of years. And like a lot of this stuff's only been out for like a year and a half or 2 years. But if they had been around since the beginning, like price appreciations in some of those altcoins might have been like insanely higher than what they are now. Like getting in early doesn't just apply to people, to like investors and early adopters. It also applies towards protocols getting in early on the blockchain that they're trying to launch on.
How do you feel time locking 2 years versus minting instantly? I've done both. Just curious about your thoughts. Our thoughts are we can't tell you obviously what's best just because we don't know. So it might be better to get into the staking pool early. It might be better to lock up and increase your coin count. It sounds like you've done a bit of both. So you've hedged your bets either way, which is good.
If there's price appreciation in Pulse during that 2 years, I think you'll end up finding that it's probably better to have locked for 2 years. Like because there comes a point where it's just really hard to get your hands on these loan tokens. So like having a quantity of them that just becomes available to you at certain, at the end of your unlock, there's nothing saying you would have ever been able to purchase that many, especially if during that time there was price appreciation the whole time, and it just becomes way too expensive to buy them. Right. So, but that being said, even Pulse could do some weird things. It could have some, 80% dips, and maybe we see a 5x, and then who knows, right? Everyone is shouting from the rooftops that Pulse is going to do like a 500x or a 250x or 10,000x. And as much as that sounds good, like usually when everybody's yelling that, like markets do the opposite.
When everyone's expecting something, obviously a lot of the time the opposite happens. Again, nobody's got a crystal ball, and whoever tells you that this is going to happen 100% is lying to you, because nobody knows. If people knew 100% what was going to happen, they'd be a trillionaire. So crypto is volatile, and that volatility goes both ways. So just like Jesse said, you could easily get a 2x on your money for the price appreciation, but could you get a 2x or a 2.5x on your coin count? Is the loan token deflationary? It's a fixed supply.
It's fixed.
But I'm sure over time people will unfortunately pass away or lose their keys, so it kind of could have some deflationary.
It kind of is. Or, I mean, you're welcome to send some to a burn address for the benefit of the community. I don't recommend it.
Yeah. Can we see our sack points somewhere?
Yeah, hexpulse.info. There's a community built site. It's not adding in the referral points, but it's pretty good otherwise.
Which potential centralized exchange can USDL be listed? What is the requirements for listing on a centralized exchange?
Well, it could be listed at, well, first it has to exist. They'll never list prior to existence. So we've talked to Kraken, we've talked to CoinSpot, and it's really not hard to, there is a lot of paperwork on some of these exchanges. Some of them have way more paperwork than others. Yes, it would be nice to be on something like Coinbase, which our counterparty that we forked is already on Coinbase. So since we're the same exact protocol, we can just mirror that, mirror what they've done and just wait. But some exchanges are super easy, by the way, like stuff like BitSmart. They'll take anything. They have like every coin under the sun.
You're asking, will I get the same staking amount of coins regardless of when they start the stake? You'll get the amount of rewards you get is for your size in the pool, in the staking pool. So it will be different for everyone, the amount of rewards people get, depending on how much they put into the staking pool or the stability pool. So obviously when you unlock your tokens, you can stake them straight away, and depending on your size in the staking pool, that will determine how much rewards you get every time someone uses the system. Appreciate the input, gentlemen. Thank you very much. Eddie says, are you going to have to choose a period of time to stake loan token, or can you stake and unstake at any time?
You can stake as little as you would like. You could stake for one block. And if in that block somebody takes a loan, you're going to collect the fee, right? During that time. So you can literally just jump in there for like 5 seconds and say, "Ooh, sweet, I just made some, earned some fees," and leave if you want. Like, there's no reason why you wouldn't just keep it staked, though. Just keep it staked forever. Just let your loan tokens sit in there while you're earning USDL for life.
Exactly. Akeem asks, will the total number of loan tokens locked determine its price appreciation?
No, really, I think what we'll end up seeing, and of course this is speculation, but if the value of Pulse goes up, you can imagine that the loans will just get bigger and bigger and bigger, which means that the volume of fees going to those stakers gets bigger and bigger and bigger the more price appreciation we see with Pulse. I think that'll have a bigger impact on the value of the loan token than anything else. The amount of them that are locked, will it determine its price? I actually don't think that people are going to have their tokens unlocked and they're going to race to go dump them on the market. I don't think that's what we're going to see. I think people are going to race to lock them up.
Yeah.
In a staking to stake them to earn the fees. So, will there be some impact? There's probably going to be a bigger impact on the returns people are getting from the fees. Maybe at the beginning, the APY from staking the tokens is high, and then as more and more people unlock over time, it goes down. But then, as I said, if the value of Pulse is going up during that same time, then maybe that's not even true. Maybe just even though there's more people unlocking and staking, the value of Pulse just keeps going up, then the APY either stays the same or just continues to go up also. It's all yet to be determined.
For Raven's question, I've answered this already, but I'll go with this quickly again. People have said the Liquity price chart is horrible. What makes liquid loans any different? Number one, Liquity is on Ethereum, obviously retarded by high gas fees. So a lot of the people playing with that are just big whales, and it prices out a lot of ordinary investors. Number two, they were funded by VC money who wanted to get their capital and profits out early. So that coin was obviously dumped a lot by the VC. Again, not the same with us. And lots of competition. So we have a blockchain, which is kind of unusable due to high gas fees. We have VC money and on Ethereum, and we have lots of competition. And on PulseChain, we have none of those. So that's what makes
their marketing sucked. Their marketing sucked. They had no instructional videos. They had they made a couple videos. They have just a handful of videos. They don't have a community behind them like we do. So it's just a night and day difference. Now, look at that price chart though. After that initial dump that they had in that first month, it's literally followed Ethereum the whole time. And by the way, they launched when Ethereum was at the top, and they had VCs. So that price dumped and dumped and dumped, and then it's literally followed Ethereum. Just as I explained, the value of Pulse as it goes up, the value of the loan token should go up. The same thing is actually happening with Liquity. As the value of Ethereum goes up, the value of the LQTY token goes up, and vice versa. But Ethereum's just been going sideways for a really long time. So, LQTY is just kind of going sideways for a really long time right now. We're launching on a brand new blockchain that starts at 0. There's only one way to go but up.
And also, like you said, their marketing sucks. And if you want proof of that, go into the Liquity Telegram chat and see about 400-500 people maybe, and then go into the Liquid Loans chat and see nearly 10,000 people. And I don't want to toot our own trumpet too much, but how many other protocols do you know with their own YouTube channel putting out daily content, sometimes multiple videos a day? So lots of different points, and our marketing is much more on there.
Hey, go to the question above this. So you sent via Trust Wallet, which is fine. Just understand that when PulseChain goes live, you're going to have to use Metamask to access PulseChain. So your seed phrase that's inside of Trust Wallet, you'll have to either import that into Metamask or import that into a hardware wallet and then still use Metamask with your hardware wallet to be able to access the PulseChain. Because Metamask is like one of just a couple wallets that allows you to change certain settings. They're called RPC settings, so that you can access unique blockchains, EVM chains such as PulseChain. Trust Wallet doesn't give you that ability. So you're good. Just understand later you're going to have to use MetaMask with your seed phrase.
But I want to add something here. He said that he wasn't able to track on the blockchain. Why not? If you go to BSC scan and put in your wallet address.
Okay, that second part there. Yeah, if you go to... Okay, so you may have sent BUSD on the Ethereum chain. BUSD does exist on the Ethereum chain as well. So check Etherscan as well.
Etherscan and BSC scan to see, because really you should put your wallet in there and you can check all your transactions. So ETH is dead. Yeah, if Liquity launched when ETH launched, the chart would look very different. That is true. So cool, guys. I think we're going to finally wrap it up. I've said this a few times now, but then more questions have come in. But yeah, Jesse, final words.
Let's all never sell our best appreciating asset.
Absolutely. You're going to close us out with a little rendition?
Sure.
You know the people want it.
Here, let's change up the words a bit.
Let's go.
You're never selling, no. You're never letting your pulse go. You're holding on forever. Yeah, you're taking the loan.
Guys, he's a rock star. He's a galaxy brain. He's the head of growth and adoption here at Liquid Loans. If you like Jesse and you like Matt, the duo that come to you bi-weekly, sometimes more than 2 times a week, and drop knowledge about liquid loans, the sacrifice, the protocol, PulseChain, all that good stuff, do hit that subscribe button and that bell icon so you're notified every time we drop new videos. Actually, me and Jesse will be back on Sunday in a couple of days to talk more about liquid loans and all that good stuff. If you need any more info on the sacrifice phase, do head over to thesacrifice.io. All the information is there. It's not too late. We still have 9 days left. And if you delay your gratification, you can claw back any lost points from the beginning of the sacrifice phase if you missed out from there. Also, if you have any questions, ask them on the live stream. Or if we're not live, go over to our Telegram chat, t.me/liquid loans. We have our superstar mods and admins in there 24/7 answering your questions. Happy Friday, everyone. Thanks for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.